Good morning. In the previous session, we have discussed about contact forces and also discussed one of the example, that is of a block and string, and we also discussed about the tension, that is the force on a string. Here we discussing another examples of contact forces. A dangling rope. The word meaning of dangling is simply hanging loosely. That means it can oscillate. The hanged object can move or oscillate. So here we discussing a dangling rope. A uniform rope of mass m and length l hangs from the limb of a tree. Find the tension a distance x from the bottom. Look at the figure. Here a rope of length L is hanging from a branch of tree. But here we consider the length of the rope as from this point to this one, and also consider the mass as of this part. Okay, so for a length of capital L, it has a mass of capital M. And here we assume a distance x. This is the point. Okay, it is at a distance x from the bottom. Here, when we considering about the rope, we have said that it has a mass m, capital M, for this length. Then the downward force on this section, it is its weight. Here we consider this section, it is redraw nearby it, and it is also its force diagram. Then look at that section. Okay, this section has a length x. Okay, then the downward force at this end must be W, or the downward force must be is equal to weight, but it not the total mg. Okay, the total mass of this is m, then that weight is mg. Here it is not the case. Okay, here the w must be equal to mg into x by l. Okay, so why it is mg into x by l? The total length of the rope is taken as L. It has a mass M. Then the mass per unit length must be equal to the mass per unit length here, the mass per unit length, it is equal to total mass divided by total length. Okay, then the mass of a length small l must be equal to m divided by capital L into small l. Okay, then for this section x, it must have a mass mx divided by l. Okay, so for this section, it must have a mass that must be equal to m into x divided by l. Okay, m into x divided by l. So this mass multiplied by g. Okay, that must be equal to this w, and it is that is equal to what? It must be equal to, it must be equal to m in the place of mass mx by l, that into g. This is written as mg into x divided by l here. Okay, and the section is pulled up by a force of magnitude T of x. It is a tension. Okay, tension at the point x is T of x. It is acting upward on the section. The total force on the section is 0 because it is at rest. It is not accelerating. Okay, so the force, total force on this section must be equal to 0. Then we can say that the W must be equal to the tension, or we write T of x is equal to mg x divided by L. T of x is equal to mg x divided by L. Okay, here the tension is given as mg into x by L. That means the tension is different at different points. Okay, at x it is mgx by L. I take another point, let it be some y. Okay, then the distance y is from the bottom. Okay, then T of y must be equal to what? T of y must be equal to mg y. I write here T of y. It is at this point. It is must be equal to mg into y divided by L. Okay. So then at the bottom, it is T of at bottom x is equal to 0. Then at bottom it is equal to 0. Okay, and at the top T of L, then T of L is equal to mg L by L, or that is equal to mg. Okay, so at the bottom of the rope the tension is 0, while at the top the tension equal to the total weight of the rope, that is equal to mg. Here the tension is a variable. Okay, the tension varying with distance, isn't it? Okay, now we discuss the atomic origin of tension. The total force on each segment of a string in equilibrium must be 0, and the string will break if the tension is too large. We can understand this qualitatively by looking at a string from the atomic viewpoint. Here we consider a string is broken as some atomic points. So here an idealized model of a string is a single long chain of molecule bound together by intermolecular forces. Suppose that the force F is applied to molecule 1 at the end of the string, and here the force diagram for the molecules 1, 2 and 3 are shown in the sketch. And in equilibrium, F must be equal to, we consider each section, then in each section it is F must be equal to F dash, F dash must be equal to F double dash, and F double dash must be equal to F triple dash. Okay, and according to Newton's third law, these forces also equal, then F3 double dash must be equal to F. So we can say that the string transmits the force F. This force is transmitted to the third one. To understand this, we need to look at the nature of intermolecular forces. This is the graph showing the variation of intermolecular forces with distance. The intermolecular force is a special one. That is, it is repulsive for short range. That means it is repulsive at small distance and it is attractive at large distances. At large distances, all the molecules attract each other with a force that is known as van der Waals forces. You should heard about it in the subject of chemistry. Okay, at large distances, all the molecules attract each other with a force known as van der Waals forces, and the intermolecular force is repulsive at small distances and vanishes at some separation or R0, and it is attractive R greater than R0. That means look at the curve here. When the value of the distance R is up to this one, the force is negative. Force is negative means sorry, here the graph is not showing like that. Already it is written here, so I avoid that. Here at this point it is repulsive at small range when the value of R between 0 and R0, it is repulsive, and when it is larger than R0, it is attractive. Okay, and at very large distances, the force must become to 0. For large values of R, the force must fall to 0 because the molecule do not interact over long distances. In the absence of an applied force, the separation between the adjacent molecule must be R0. Here we taking R0 as the equilibrium distance between, here we taking R0 as it is the equilibrium distance between molecules, adjacent molecules. Okay, so if there is no external force is applied, then the separation between the adjacent molecule must be R0. Okay, otherwise, that means when we applying a force, it may be a push or pull. Okay, then the intermolecular force would cause, due to that force, when we applying a push or pull, the string may contract or expand. Okay. So considering the case of pull, we pull on the string at one end. Okay, then what happened? The molecules move apart slightly. Say R2, R is equal to R2. That is, actually, the distance between the molecules is R0. Then the molecule move apart a little bit. Then it reaches R2. Okay. At that point, the intermolecular force is attractive. So when the applied force balances the intermolecular attractive force, at that point, okay, then the total force on each molecule must be 0. I repeat, here the case is we apply a force on this string. Okay, and here the distance between the molecule were actually at intermolecular distance at equilibrium, it is R0. Okay, when we applied a force towards this direction, let us assume the positions of the particle changes, or it is not to scale. Okay, only consider the width. It is greater than R0, or the length increases. Okay, when that distance, that molecular distance increases, look at here at the graph, the intermolecular force is attractive and the value of that will increases. Okay, then if the value of the applied force, if the value of applied force F applied is equal to the intermolecular distance R2. Okay, if F applied is equal to FR2, here we consider it is at a distance r2. Then if the applied force is equal to Fr2, the total force acting on this molecule must be equal to 0, because F applied is equal to Fr2. Okay. Then when we are removing the force, what will happen? Here we removed this force. Then there is a force that acting is Fr2. It is an attractive force between them. Then the molecules comes to each other. It will be reached at the equilibrium distance. Okay. Next, consider the case of push. We cannot push a string. So we consider the string is stiff like a metal rod, and the molecules are arranged linearly adjacent to each other one by one. So if we considering the string as very stiff like a metal rod, we could push as well as pull. Then here we considering the case of push. Okay. So here we pushing the molecule. Okay. Then in that case, what happens? In that case, the distance between the molecules reduces. Okay. It is less than R0. Let it be R1. Okay. Because it is less than that, then there is a repulsive force. Okay. If this repulsive force is equal to the applied force, if the repulsive force at R1 is equal to the applied force, then there is no force. The total force acting on each molecule must be equal to 0. Okay, then we removing the force, applied force. Then what happens? Then due to the repulsive force, the molecules retain their equilibrium positions. The change in the length. Here we say that when we are applying a force, the distance between the molecules changes. Okay, so the change in length depend on the slope of the interatomic forces. If this slope is very high, the length is very small. If the curve is very steeper, then the stretch will be very less. for a given pole. And in the figure, there is a maximum value for the attractive intermolecular force. It is shown here in the sketch. If the applied force is greater than F max, the intermolecular force is too weak to restore the balance, then the molecule will continue separate. So the string breaks. So when the applied force is greater than the F max of the intermolecular force, then the string cannot retrace into its equilibrium position. The string just breaks. But the breaking strength of the MOS material considerably less than the limit set by F max. Here it is the force of interatomic forces between two molecules. Okay. In this graph, it is showing the force between nearby molecules. But in materials, there may be some defect. Okay. It may be due to some dislocations or some voids, etc. Okay. So the breaking may be occur at that points, that dislocations or that defect points. It may be voids, some etc. Okay. So the breaking may be occur below F max, the applied force not reaching at before reaching at F max, the string may break. But in the case of the more rigid ones, for example, carbon nanotubes, it has no defects or voids or dislocations, etc. So in that case, the breaking strength is almost equal to F max. So the breaks occurs at points of weakness or defects in the lattice where the molecular arrangement depart from the regular crystal arrangement. Now we considering the next example. This example is a special one because of we cannot obtain a complete solution of this using only Newtonian mechanics. Okay. To obtain the solution, we must use some mathematical tools, that is calculus. So here we analyze the example whirling rope. A uniform rope of mass m and length L is pivoted at one end and it whirls with a uniform angular velocity omega. What is the tension in the rope at a distance r from the pivot? Here we considering a rope has a length L. The length is taken from this point to here. It has a mass m, capital M, and it is pivoted at one end and whirls. It is circulating with an angular velocity omega. Then we have to obtain what is the tension in the rope at a distance r from the pivot. Here we considering a part of the some section. Okay, the shaded section, it has a distance r from the pivot. Then we have to obtain the tension at here. Okay. Here we have to find out the equation of motion for this small section of the rope between r and r plus delta r. Okay. We have to obtain the equation of motion for the small section. Okay. Here the length of the section is delta r. Okay, here it is r, here it r plus delta r, then this is length is delta r, and let the mass of this section as delta m. And here its force diagram is given. At this end the tension T of r, and at the other end the tension is T of r plus delta r. Here we know that the tension must vary with distance. Okay. So here we take the tension at the point r is T of r, and the tension at r plus delta r is T of r plus delta r. For this section, its inward acceleration must be equal to r omega square. That is by the centripetal acceleration. Okay, r omega square. But actually, look at this point. It is at this point. Okay, if we take the actual expression, the actual centripetal force, sorry, centripetal acceleration must be r plus delta r into omega square. Okay, but in the limit delta r tends to 0, it will gives only r omega square. Okay, so the inward radial acceleration is r omega square. So the equation of motion for the section is here we taking it is the positive direction or the radial direction is given. So here we obtain the radial equation of motion. Then it is T of r plus delta r minus T of r, that is equal to mass into acceleration. Here the mass of the section is delta m into delta m, and r omega square is the acceleration. That centripetal acceleration is acting inward this direction, so it is a with a negative sign. So we have to express the delta m. It is the delta m is the mass of this section. We have to find delta m. For that, we know that the total mass is m, total length is L, then the mass per unit length is m divided by L. Okay, then the mass of the section having delta r must be equal to m delta r by L. Okay, so we can write here, we write the value of T tension of r plus delta r minus T of r. That quantity is written as delta T, or that is equal to what? Minus minus r omega square into m delta r divided by L. In the place of delta m, we substituted m delta r divided by L. Dividing the equation by delta r and here in the next step, what we have to do? We divide this equation by delta t divided by delta r, that is equal to minus m r omega square divided by L. Okay, this is the variation delta t divided by delta r. From this delta t by delta r, we get dt by dr. How can you obtain dt by dr? Dt by dr is equal to what? Limit, it is limit delta r tends to 0, delta t divided by delta r. Okay, so dt by dr is equal to minus mr omega square divided by L. It is a value of dt by dr. This is the differential equation. It gives the variation of tension with the position. It is not give us the tension. It only gives the variation of tension with the distance r. Here, what is the significance of the negative sign? The negative sign indicates that the tension decreases as R increases. When R increases, the tension decreases. When we integrating this equation, we express the equation as dt is equal to minus m omega square divided by L RdR. We integrating both sides. Integral dt, that is equal to minus m omega square divided by L R dr. Okay. Here we take the limit from 0 to R. Okay. So here I take the limit from T0 to T of R. Okay. When we integrating, it will give T of R minus T of 0 is equal to it is obtained as T of R minus T0 is equal to minus m omega square divided by L into R square divided by 2. Okay. Here T0 is the tension at R is equal to 0. It is a constant that remains to be determined. We have to determine the value of T0. Here our problem is to find the tension at the point R. Okay. So here we obtain T of R minus T0. That is equal to minus m omega square by L R square by 2. Here it is an unknown quantity, that is T0. It is a constant quantity which have to be determined. So for that, we take the condition that the R is equal to L. Okay. At the end of the rope, we know that at the end of the rope, the tension is 0. Okay. So we substitute the condition R is equal to L, then T of L minus T0 is equal to minus m omega square divided by L into L square divided by 2. So at that point, this quantity is equal to T of L must be equal to the tension at this point must be equal to 0. T of L is equal to 0. That means we will get from this T0 is equal to M. This quantity cancel out. Then M omega square L divided by 2. Okay. Therefore, we obtain the value of it is m omega square L by 2. Okay, which is the tension at the origin. Okay, which is the same as if the mass of the rope were concentrated at a point whirling in a circle of radius half the length of the rope. Then T of R must be equal to what? The expression of T of R can be written as T of R is equal to the value of T0 is m omega square L divided by 2 minus m omega square divided by 2L into R square, or that is equal to, we can written it as m omega square divided by 2L into L square minus R square. Okay, I repeat this point. The tension at the origin is m omega square L divided by 2. Okay, which is the same as if the mass of the rope were concentrated at a point whirling in a circle of radius half the length of the rope. Okay, it is similar to that. We know that we have the idea about center of mass. Center of mass means the mass of a body is concentrated at its center of mass position. Okay, so for a rod of length L, its mass is, for a rod of length L, its mass must be, it has a mass of m, it must be concentrated at the point L by 2. Okay, then the example of whirling rope, it is equal to a mass m is kept at a point L by 2, and that mass is revolving with an angular velocity omega. Then the centripetal force is equal to what? Centripetal force is equal to m L by m into mass into radius, in the position of radius L by 2 into omega square. So this is the centripetal force at the origin. So that will be the tension at the origin, isn't it? Okay. So here, to obtain the tension, we have used the integration of the differential equation. Okay, thank you.